Before the video starts, check out the official Discord with the links in the description down below or on the screen right here for mobile users. We are a fast growing community, and if you want to join and speak to new people about the anime that we all love, or speak to me personally and get custom perks, check out the Major Dragon Discord and join our growing community within the Dragon Force. Now let's get on with the video. Goku is a genius? Goku is actually a genius whenever he fights in battle. In terms of battle knowledge, Goku's one of the smartest people to know about, knowing all the martial arts by the time he was 12 and being an amazing tactician. But on the other hand, he can barely count with his fingers. He doesn't even know what kissing is, ironically, for being married for almost 20 years. Goku is a very interesting character. For a battle side, very intelligent. On the other side, not really. Well, Goku has even made some really stupid decisions in the show. So, what would happen if he changes that? He's a bit smarter. He actually made smart decisions and not foolish decisions, which you will be seeing in this story. And how will this change the story when he does this? Well, Bardock would still sacrifice his own life against Frieza. Goku would still land on planet Earth just like the original. Now, one thing that is going to change here is Goku will still hit his head as he originally did. This will calm down his wild Saiyan nature and make him even more lighthearted than the usual Goku. But he won't become goofy because of that. He still is Goku, as we all know, personality-wise, but he won't be as stupid as he originally is. Now, when he does meet Bulma, he of course is interested. He's never seen a girl before in his entire life, but he's not as foolish as he originally was. Now, Bulma would still meet up with Goku, and she would then sign a deal with Goku to where he would protect her and help her, and she'll search for the Dragon Balls with him, and in turn, Goku can maybe get a wish. Now, Bulma's original wish was for a boyfriend as well, as Goku didn't really know what he wanted to wish for. One thing before we continue, yes, Grandpa Gohan will still be dead because Goku can't control his Grade 8 form. It wouldn't make any sense for him to have that. So, he would still lose the control of the Grade 8 form and sadly kill Grandpa Gohan, so he's still on his own. Well, Bulma, again, mind you, would still want to wish for a boyfriend. Goku doesn't really know what he wants to wish for, as that's a really tough topic for him. As, you know, maybe he would want to wish his grandpa back. That's probably the only thing he would want to do. Well, the next day, they would then meet Master Roshi, and Master Roshi would still give them the 3-star Dragon Ball and the Flying Nimbus, which Goku can ride, because Goku would still bring the turtle back and give it water. Now, in the original 2, Goku also defeated Oolong. That did not require that much smarts anyway, and they would still get the 6-star Dragon Ball. And Goku originally got very sick, and that's how Yamcha was able to beat him. That would still happen the same. It's just the only difference here is Goku's not as stupid, so he would work with Bulma a little bit better, and they wouldn't be fighting as much as they originally did. Because Goku was so innocent and he's such a fool that, well, it drove Bulma insane. Now, one thing here is when Master Roshi originally used the Kamehameha to put out the flames on the Frying Pan Mountain, originally he did kind of destroy the entire mountain. Goku can't use the Kamehameha yet, since this is the first time he's ever seen it. This is the first time anyone's ever seen a Kamehameha, so Goku couldn't really do anything. So, this would still be Master Roshi's thing, but they would find the 7-star Dragon Ball. Now, Goku would still defeat the Boss Rabbit and the gang. Now, one difference will happen here is Goku knows that somebody is following them. He knows that there's something going on. You guys remember how Majin shoots the Dragon Balls from them? That wouldn't happen here because Goku knows that something's going on. Goku's not as basically foolish. He's more intelligent. So he keeps the Dragon Balls even safer to him. So when Mai and Shu try and steal the Dragon Balls from Goku, he would stop him. Now, that would mean, though, because originally Pilaf summoned Shenron and then Oolong wished for girls' underwear, which was a whole funny thing, that would not happen because Goku defeated Pilaf and the gang. And originally, Goku also turned into a Grade 8 ball in Pilaf's castle and destroyed the whole thing. That's not going to happen. So they have the Dragon Balls. Now, we would have Goku and Bulma arguing over who gets the wish. As Bulma really wanted to wish for a boyfriend. Her true lover. Goku didn't really know what to wish for. And he didn't really know. He wouldn't mind wishing his grandfather back, because he doesn't know his grandfather's dead, by the way. He thinks he just disappeared for now. But he decides to give it to Bulma. So, Bulma would then summon Shenron just like before. Oolong would not make his dirty wish this time, and she would make her wish. Wishing for her true lover. And then, the light would then dissipate, and who do we have here? The hairline receding Prince of all Saiyans himself, Vegeta. Now, Vegeta's still a child, because around this time he's around Bulma's age, around 16. Everybody was shocked to see him, as Bulma was not expecting him to look like that. And Vegeta was very confused on where he's at. He looks around, he doesn't know where he is. As then Shenron would then dissipate into the air, Vegeta was fuming though, as he doesn't know where he is. He then asks the Earth Woman, where is he? And she says, you're on Earth. And he says, Earth? What the hell's an Earth? You're an Earthling. Why am I here? How am I here? What did you do? He would then grab Bulma by the shirt, lifting her up as he was about to hit Bulma. Not really. But then Goku realizes that he has a tail. He would then tell Vegeta to let Bulma go, and Vegeta would then look and scoff at him, but he looks in shock to see that he has a tail too. He then drops Bulma and walks over to Goku, telling him, you're a Saiyan? Goku says, what's a Saiyan? What is that? And he says, how do you not know your own heritage? And he then looks at him, and because he doesn't know him, and he says, I am the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta. We are a warrior race of beings who pirate and take over planets. You were sent to this planet long ago, while planet Vegeta was destroyed by a meteor. And Goku was shocked to hear this news, but why would he not want to believe him? Because he has the same tail as Goku. And the hair is kind of similar in a way. Vegeta would then tell Goku that you were sent here on this planet to take it over. And it appears that you failed at doing that. Well, Vegeta then says, well, how about this? I'll take over the planet myself. Do you have your Saiyan space pod? And he says, space pod? And Vegeta almost punches himself because of how goofy Goku was acting. Goku's so confused because he doesn't know what's going on. And he explains, you came here on a space pod. Your spaceship. It has to be here. Do you know where it is? And Goku doesn't know where it's actually at. As unfortunately, he's only stayed around Grandpa Gohan's place the most. Well, Vegeta would then scoff, and he then says, well, I need to have a ship to get out of here, because if I don't, I'm stuck here. Now, Vegeta does have his scouter, but the problem is, he doesn't want to call for Frieza. Remember, he's still terrified of Frieza. He doesn't want Frieza to come here, because if Frieza finds out that he's not at his original coordinates where he set him, he could be killed by Zarbon and Dodoria. Remember, Vegeta's not as strong as he originally is. His power was at around 12,000, maybe 13,000 at this point, which is already the strongest. He's already the strongest character. Well, Vegeta would then tap on a scouter, and he would read Goku's power level and say, a power level of only 100? Or even less than that, actually, because he didn't even train with Roshi yet. His power level would only be around 50 or so. He would then laugh at him, saying that you're a disgrace. You're a low class? That low? Earth made you soft. And then he would look at Bulma's power level, seeing power level 5, so whatever. Well, Goku would then say, yeah, but I don't let you grab my friend Bulma like that. And Vegeta says, oh, really? Do you really think you can beat me? You make me laugh. I can kill you with a finger if I want to. Goku would try, though. As Goku would try to punch Vegeta, it does zero effect on him. Vegeta would then swat Goku around like he was a fly and brutally beat Goku, but he would spare him because Bulma jumps in front of Goku and yells at Vegeta, and the power of the women's strength of Dragon Ball is unbeatable. Even Beerus knows that to himself. So Vegeta would then stop. Now, Vegeta would try to go find Goku's space pod. Goku says Mount Paozu. So, this is when Vegeta would then be taking Goku. They would fly around to go find a space pod. And they would find it, because Vegeta can fly. Goku can't fly. So Vegeta's holding him by the back of the shirt while they fly around. They do see the space pod, but it is destroyed. It's been so many years, and it's ruined. Vegeta would then be furious, as he would then look to Bulma, who came along, and he then tells him, Earthwoman, can you build a spaceship from this one? And she says, as she was blown away seeing a space pod, but she says, well, maybe my dad can, I don't know. And he says, great, so I'm stuck here while you fools make another space pod. Make it. And if you do this, I will spare this planet. Do we have a deal? And she says, fine. Because Vegeta knows that no other way he's kind of stuck. And so Goku would also agree, as he worked out the deal with Vegeta, explaining that, listen, we get you your space pod, you fly out of here, okay? You go back to whatever you wanted to do, but in return, you don't destroy our planet. Does that seem fair? Vegeta says, fine. You have my word as a Saiyan, I will not. And Vegeta pretty much stays true to his word. He's always proved that. So he wouldn't double-cross him, to a degree. Well, Vegeta would then just fly off, and Bulma's a little upset. Goku would then talk to her, and she says, that's my true lover? The Dragon Balls must be broken. He's such a jerk. He's so mean and arrogant. Like, he's a jerk. Goku says, well, he's not that bad, but it's really cool to see another Saiyan. And it was a lot of info for Goku to take in, the fact that he's a Saiyan and they're a band of warriors who rule over planets. But the main factor is that somebody is that powerful. That terrifies him. Now, the one person who is very worried about is Kami. Now, mind you, though, Kami has not met Goku yet, or anything like that. Goku's not met Korin. Kami's terrified of Vegeta. He can't match Vegeta at all in terms of power, and Vegeta's way too strong. So for the time being, Vegeta would then stay at Capsule Corp, because he has nowhere else to go, and the food is fantastic. He will admit that. Earth does have some pretty good food. So him and Bulma do have a lot of funny moments together while they're in Capsule Corp, butting heads, while Bulma's father begins working on trying to recreate the space pod. But it will take a very long time. Technology is still limited at this time, and this is a whole new world. So, Goku would still begin his training under Master Roshi. They would then spend the next 7 months training. Now, one thing to note though, Vegeta sees himself as above Goku. He doesn't see Goku as a challenge. So, he might go see Kakarot from when he heard that maybe he trained, but I highly doubt that. Bulma would still return to school, so Vegeta would just continue training at Capsule Corp. And of course, this is when Goku, oh, and by the way, the Rotoman army begins to search for the Dragon Balls again. Vegeta learns about the Dragon Balls from Bulma. And, oh, by the way, minding you though, if Frieza did learn about it, everyone's dead. There's no way they can beat Frieza. So, Vegeta turned his scouter off. He turned his communications off because he knows about it. He turned his communications off so that way Frieza cannot overhear anything. Because if they find out that he's on Earth and he's been in his quarters, and he's in trouble. Well, he would learn about the Dragon Balls from Bulma. She would briefly explain it. Not too much because she doesn't want Vegeta to find it. And Vegeta says, so these magical orbs can grant a wish. Is that true? He says, yeah, that's how you actually got here. And he said, so they can send me back. And she says, yes, they can. And he says, well, fine. Why don't you finish up your little school stuff and then find these Dragon Balls and then wish me back to where I originally came from? And Bulma says, well, we can do that, but okay, fine. Now, Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi did leave to go for the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. Vegeta would actually want to enter in. As he's bored, he hasn't really fought anybody yet. He wants to see how strong the Earth's humans are. And if Kakarot is a Saiyan and he's the example, he's not impressed. So, carrying on though, Vegeta would then enter. Now, originally though, Krillin and Master Roshi, they did have a fight. Roshi did win. Goku would fight Roshi, and Goku would then lose the match. And it was a very close battle though, but now it's Roshi versus Vegeta. Now, of course, mind you, Vegeta is way too strong. Roshi has absolutely zero chance. Now, when Goku did turn into a Great Ape, Vegeta did defeat him himself. Roshi did fire a Kamehameha, and he did stop. But now that Roshi's back at full strength, he's ready to fight Vegeta. Vegeta is just tanking every attack that Roshi throws at him, no matter what Roshi does. Vegeta's too strong. He just cannot be beaten by this point. Master Roshi would then charge up a full power Kamehameha, buffing up to his full power, and throwing it right at Vegeta. Vegeta was actually impressed that this old man had the strength to destroy a moon potentially with this power. It's not bad for a human, but he would then flick it away. And he was just not impressed. It was a total disappointment. But then he learns about the Red Ribbon Army's search. Now, Vegeta doesn't like that, as Goku would ask Vegeta for help, saying that if you help us defeat the Red Ribbon Army, not destroying Earth, but if you help us defeat the Red Ribbon Army, we'll help you find the Dragon Balls. And Vegeta says, that's it? Just some stupid little military with their little guns to threaten me? Okay, perfectly fine. Vegeta is their secret weapon. He would do what Omni-Man did to that planet. He would just fly around in blitzing speeds, just absolutely annihilating the Red Ribbon Army with ease. He was having fun destroying them all. So they would still get the 6 and 5-star Dragon Ball. Goku originally did fight General Blue, and he would have won. This version of Goku is stronger because he has fought Vegeta a few times and got some Zenkais from fighting Vegeta. Now, he did defeat General Blue, and this is when we would see Vegeta meet up with Kakarot, and this is when Goku landed in Penguin Village originally. And Ariel actually beats the heck out of Vegeta, ironically. It was a very comical moment because Ariel is a Toon character. She has the Toon Force, which means that she can go from being a Dragon Ball character to where she can be a Destroyer level character. It's she's a broken character. She's a gag character. So she has Toon power. So Vegeta actually got beat up similar to how he did in Super, so he's a bit traumatized by that, but they would then leave. Now, Mercenary Tao originally is going after Goku. Goku would still defeat him pretty easily, and Goku would then be flown up to Korin's tower to then discuss with him. Now, Goku would train with Korin while Vegeta flies off to continue fighting the Red Ribbon Army. He's having fun, and him and Bulma have actually gotten closer together because they bounce off one another so well, as it's been about, 8+ months or so, nearly a year, since Vegeta was shown. So Vegeta is getting closer to Bulma. So Goku would actually drink the real sacred water, not the cup of water. And by this point, the Red Ribbon Army is in shambles. Like, there's nothing left. Like, Vegeta just thoroughly went through and destroyed them all. And so that means that even people like Dr. Gero is also dead as well. But we'll get into that one later on in the story. So there's no Dr. Gero because he was thoroughly destroyed. Like, Vegeta would not stop. He would kill every single one of them in his path. And also, too, his scouter, he can locate them all, so he could just kill them all anyway. So either way, they're all destroyed. But now, what now? Well, they have the Dragon Balls, and, well, maybe they can wish. But past this point, though, Goku would also still reunite with his dead grandfather, just like the original. And now they do have the Dragon Balls. So, again, Goku would then offer Vegeta, this is your wish, we can send you back, if that's what you really want. Now, Vegeta has been thinking, though, very, very difficult, as him and Bulma got really close, and they had a fight the night before, when Bulma was actually really starting to like, she was kind of starting to like Vegeta, and then she was really upset that he's just leaving her. And it did hit Vegeta a little bit, since he's never had people care about him. And true, he despises Kakarot. He doesn't like him, but whatever. As by this point, he would actually choose to stay. And his reason for staying is only because he knows that it's been too long now. They're wondering where he is, probably. Dodoria or Zarbon are wondering where he is. Now, you can't go out and find Nappa or Raditz either way, because they're already taking orders already, and they just assume that Vegeta was killed, since they can't find him. He just disappeared. So Vegeta is actually going to use this to his advantage. He's going to continue growing up and getting stronger. Then when the time comes, he can maybe use these mystical Dragon Balls to then get immortality or a wish that he wants. That would be a good plan. Well, 3 years pass and Vegeta and Bulma are dating. Now by this point, of course, they're between the ages around 18, 19 years old. So Vegeta and Bulma are now together. They are a couple. No, they are not married. But Vegeta is actually starting to warm up. It's just his original plan is starting to like fade away. But he does still train with Goku every now and again. Now, of course, by this point, this is when the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament would take place. Now, Tien Shenhan would not win. The reason why is because Goku is stronger than before. Now, Krillin will still be killed by Tambourine, and Demon King Piccolo appears. Now, Vegeta hears about this, and Goku asks Vegeta for help. To help kill Demon King Piccolo. And Vegeta's still an arrogant asshole, so he says, why would I want to help you? That's your battle, not mine. Prove yourself as a Saiyan and go defeat him yourself. And so Goku would have to. So he meets up with Yajirobe and kills Tambourine. Goku would cross past Demon King Piccolo, but he would struggle to match Goku. Goku's gotten stronger. Since Vegeta's so strong, Goku's pushing himself. But he is struggling, though. And so Demon King Piccolo is really struggling, and I think he would be defeated by Goku, similar to how it was when he had his youth. Goku would be able to fly through Demon King Piccolo using the power of the Great Ape and defeat him. He would still spit out an egg, and then he would explode. Now, Vegeta knew that it was a Namekian, but by this point, then Kami would still appear. Now, Goku would then begin training under Kami. Now, Kami's worried about Vegeta, and he knows how dangerous Vegeta is. Now, let's just say that by this point, Vegeta's power level originally was around 12 to 13,000. Let's say it's around 16,000 now, because he was at a power level of around 18,000 by the time he met Goku when they were both fully grown. So they were, roughly about 23 years old. By this point, Kami would then begin training Goku, teach him how to sense energy, similar thing with Popo. But on the last year, as remember, it was a total of 3 years, Goku needs something even more. The Room of Spirit and Time wasn't going to cut it since it's too much on Goku. But there is one person that could help him. So Kami would then take Goku to go see King Yama himself. Now, King Yama was not very happy that Kami brought a living mortal here. But carry on. As he explains that, well, what if Vegeta loses control and kills 7 billion people on the planet? That's going to be a lot of stuff to deal with. And King Yama says, fine. So he lets Goku go. And Goku's very persuasive. He can go. Now, Goku knows that he needs to get as strong as possible because he wants to fight Vegeta at full strength. Well, by this point, Goku's power level is roughly around 300 to 400, to mind you. He is stronger than the original, and he has been training with Kami for the past 2 years. I'm going to say his power level is at around 400. Well, Goku here would then begin running down Snake Way. Now, he would still meet the Princess Snake and eat food, so he's okay, but he's struggling. Well, this is when he would then race the 2 demons, and then he would have the fruit that he ate that not only increased his strength, it also fed his stomach for about 3 to 4 months so he can make it. Now, Goku would then arrive at King Kai's planet, and the gravity was still way too much for him, like the original. He would still make a joke with King Kai, and King Kai would begin training him. Now, King Kai was shocked to hear that Vegeta kind of settled down on Earth, but he understands Goku's predicament, so he will train him. So Goku begins his ruthless training. Now, when Goku ate that fruit, let's say his power level went up to around 500. Well, when Goku trains at King Kai's world, Goku basically learned everything that he needed to know, and he mastered the gravity in a very fast time. So let's say it was a similar time, so a year total. Now, if Vegeta wonders where Kakarot went, he knew that he went to go see that other Namekian, but he doesn't really care. Kakarot can't beat him, so he is the strongest Saiyan here, which does boost his ego. Well, if Goku got around 18.8 times stronger, let's say that he got a similar buff in power. And also, mind you, too, he has more motivation, so we're going to bump it up a little bit to, I would say, around 20 times. So if that is the case, then Goku's power level is at 10,000 solid. Plus the fact that he also knows Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb, but he can't go up higher than times 2. So, when Goku arrives back after a year, this was when he would meet everybody at the World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, Vegeta did pick up the trick where he can sense energy, but I don't think he can do that just yet. So, no, we're just going to say that he can't do that yet. But Goku would meet everybody at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, Piccolo Jr. is there, And Vegeta, would he enter? Yes, because Goku would tell Vegeta to enter because he wants to fight him himself. Now, when Goku and Chi-Chi, when they do meet up, Goku was a bit silly and he thought that marriage was some kind of food. I still think he would get with Chi-Chi, and the reason why is because she would, even though Goku never promised her, she still really liked Goku and she wanted to ask him out, so Goku would say yes. So that would still happen. So she wouldn't be as angry because Goku forgot about the marriage promise. The marriage promise wouldn't even happen because Goku knew what marriage was at the time. He thought originally that it was some kind of food. That's why he said, sure, I'll have that next time when I come back. So that's like the whole point behind that one. So now, of course, Vegeta's interested to fight Kakarot. He could tell that he's different. Something's off about Kakarot. He's changed. What kind of training did he do? But of course, Goku would still fight Tien and defeat him easily, as Goku still has weighted clothing to hold him down, as it's very heavy, courtesy of King Kai. But now, Piccolo would then actually fight Goku next, as Piccolo's the last one. Vegeta's the last guy to fight. So, Piccolo would want to have his revenge against Goku, but when he tries to fight him, his power level is the same at around 306, around 316. He quickly finds out that Goku is way above him. Any attack that Piccolo does has no chance against him, and he's absolutely annihilated in their match. Goku would one-shot him similar to what he did to Chi-Chi and defeat him. Piccolo would vow vengeance as he does fly off, so yes, Kami's still alive. As Goku would then spare Piccolo just because he knows that if Piccolo dies, then Kami dies as well. And he can't lose Kami, so because the Dragon Balls will then disappear. He also tells Vegeta that, because Vegeta was probably thinking about killing Piccolo anyway. This is the match I think everybody wanted to see, was Vegeta versus Goku. So Vegeta was arrogant, but he tells Kakarot that you're very brave for challenging me, but bring it on then. So Goku would then smirking says, I'm not the same when we last fought all those years ago, Vegeta. I've done some pretty good training. Vegeta still had his scouter, mind you, as they did allow, since it's not a weapon to a degree. Vegeta didn't really care if he wins or loses the tournament. He just wants to fight Goku. He could tell that he was different, that like he's really changed. That his power is different. He could feel the pressure of it. Goku would begin powering up, as Vegeta was in shock, seeing that his power level was over 10,000. And he was shocked of how this was possible. How did Kakarot get that strong within 3 years? What kind of training did he do under that old Namekian? As Goku would then get into a stance, he challenges Vegeta. Now Vegeta would then power up to his full strength. He is, by this point, we're going to say he's around 16 to 18,000, just to make him, because he's fully mature, so he's at his full age. So we're going to say he's at around 18,000 like the original. So the two would begin their matchup, and Goku would actually fare a little bit better because he has a 2,000 power level difference. He's higher than before from 8,000. He would handle himself a lot better. Vegeta would even give him credit in stating, you're actually stronger than your own brother Raditz and even my comrade Nappa. So I don't know what you did. I don't know how a low-class Saiyan can become this strong when before you were a weakling with the power level not even breaking 1,000. It's mind-boggling. Now, Goku would hold his own pretty decently against Vegeta, but mind you though, Vegeta, again, is still stronger than Goku. He's nearly double Goku's strength. Goku would then use the Kaioken. Vegeta says, Kaio what? And then Goku would then cut him off and deliver a powerful punch. Now, by this point, Vegeta and them have already destroyed the ring. Goku he's holding back because he doesn't want to hurt anybody around. So he would then tell Vegeta, how about this? How about me and you go somewhere and we fight at full strength like how we really want to? Vegeta would actually hop off the ring first, as he doesn't give a shit about some tournament. He doesn't care about that. So Goku was technically declared the winner, and Chi-Chi would handle that, so they get all the money, which is fine. Goku and Vegeta would then just fly off without care, wondering, and the person's wondering where they went, but whatever. As then some of the other Z fighters would then fly off because they want to see this from a faraway distance. Goku and Vegeta would then meet at the wasteland, and they would really go at it. Goku would go full power at around 10,000, Vegeta at 18,000. They would then clash each other. Vegeta still has the upper hand on Goku, and Goku was just so amazed with how strong Vegeta is. But Vegeta does give Kakarot actually some respect. He says that he's never seen a Saiyan, a low class, mind you, low class trash, become that powerful. Well, Goku would then fly in and continue fighting Vegeta. One thing that Goku does have is martial arts. He has skill. So Goku would be able to land a hit on Vegeta, but it wouldn't do really any damage to him at all. Vegeta was pretty angry, but he would then gut punch Kakarot, sending him back to the mountain. Goku would then smirk as his top G was completely destroyed. He rips it off as he tells Vegeta that he has some tricks up his sleeve as well. Now, mind you though, Goku, he still has his tail originally, since Master Roshi did not need to destroy the moon originally. So Goku still has his tail. So Vegeta would not use the burst open and mix technique or the fake moon because they would both turn great apes. So there's no reason to do this. Goku would just have his tail wrapped around him, so he's good to go. Also, Goku, under King Kai's help, did learn to control his tail, and he did outgrow it to where his tail does not get severely hinder him if it's ever grabbed or pulled. If you guys remember, his tail was sensitive, so whenever you grabbed it, he lost all his power. He was able to train that and lose that trick, so something that even Raditz didn't be able to do. Well, we would then have Goku begin to bulk up a little bit in size as he went Kaioken times 2. He would then fly in and hit Vegeta like he did in the original, overwhelming the Prince of All Saiyans with absolute ease. Vegeta was in shock to see this, as Goku was annihilating him in their matchup, and Vegeta was struggling. Well, Vegeta would then fly up into the air, and he would then charge up his own Gallic gun, throwing it at Goku. Goku would get it back by firing his own Kamehameha. He would be forced to use Kaioken times 3 in a burst, which would easily overpower his blast, and it would hit Vegeta full force, overwhelming him. His power level is well over 30,000, and he would have been defeated. Because the blast was so powerful, Vegeta was not ready for it. Vegeta was defeated, and he was knocked on the ground, but he was still alive. Now, Goku was very weak and tired because he just used times 3, and he wasn't supposed to. But he still had more power in the tank to go. He can go times 3 and continue fighting if he needs to, but it's stick at times 2. Vegeta and Goku would continue fighting, as this was a fight almost to the end. It was a battle of two Saiyans, not two Earthlings. It was bloody and it was brutal, but Vegeta would then collapse because he was overwhelmed, and Goku would stand up tall, albeit barely. He won. He beat Vegeta. Goku would then collapse as well, as both men were exhausted. They were then taken and given a sensu bean, so they were fully healed. Now, Vegeta was so pissed that Goku beat him, it really hit his pride. He would then scoff at him and state, "This isn't the last time we're going to fight. I'm going to defeat you." And he would then fly off. Now, of course, it really hit Vegeta's pride because a low class was able to get that strong, but he used a stupid technique to win. But whatever, he still won. Well, Goku would still get married to Chi-Chi, and they would still have their son Gohan. Now, mind you though, again, Goku would still get married to Chi-Chi because he still kind of liked Chi-Chi since her fiery nature, but it wasn't under a forceful promise, just to mind you. And Bulma already had Vegeta, so him and Goku would never, Bulma and Goku would never become a thing. Well, of course, events are really going to change here. So 5 years would still pass. Goku would still continue to train. Now, Goku knows about the gravity room because he would tell Bulma about it, and Bulma would then make one. Of course, this means that Vegeta gets one too. So him and Vegeta do train a lot, and they do come to respect one another, so they do battle all the time. And Goku currently is still stronger than Vegeta. Albeit slightly, though. Goku's a better trainer than Vegeta. Vegeta hasn't really learned how to train correctly. He always overtrains. And Goku's a genius. Well, one thing about Gohan that Goku would do with Chi-Chi is Goku knows that Gohan has some hidden potential. He knows it, because whenever Gohan got really angry or really upset, his power level surged to heights that he's never seen before. It really shocked him how strong Gohan was. Way stronger than he was at his age. He would tell Chi-Chi about that and explain that, listen, Gohan, at least let him train Gohan. He can still study, of course he can, but let him train so he can learn to defend himself, if you never know. What if he's not here and you're not here? Gohan needs to defend himself. He's really smart by this point, so he knows to kind of kind of manipulate Chi-Chi about it. And Chi-Chi would allow it, since I guess it is Gohan learning to defend himself. And he's spending time with his father, so that is all that matters. Goku is around. He didn't go get a pack of cigarettes, so he's still here. He didn't get the milk. Well, originally, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz purged planet Sheik, and this is when Vegeta would originally have told Raditz to go to Earth. I still think Raditz would go there to go see his brother. So Raditz would be in shock, though, to see very high, a power level of over 1,000 at least, nearby. Vegeta and Goku would then meet up on Master Roshi's house, and of course there would be Gohan as well. And by this point, they do have a child as well by the name of Trunks. So Trunks and Gohan will actually be similar in age. We're going to say they had them at the same time, so they're around 4.5. So it's similar in age. So past this point, though, it was a shock, though, as Raditz would then arrive. Vegeta sensed him immediately. He knew that Raditz was heading his way. Goku was shocked to see another Saiyan. And Vegeta would then laugh and say, well, it's the low-class trash Raditz. And Raditz was shocked to see the Prince of all Saiyans was right there. And same with his brother, Kakarot. And Goku asked, what are you doing here? And it says, well, we came here because I wanted to recruit you since we couldn't find the Prince of all Saiyans anymore. But you've been here this entire time? And Vegeta says, yes, it was a long time ago now, but he was wished here by these mystical orbs. But he doesn't know why. Well, mainly he knows why. He's not going to say it because it's a bit embarrassing. But he says that he couldn't go back because they would have killed him, the Doria's squad or Zarbon's. So he was forced to stay here. And Raditz was actually pretty angry the fact that, of course, Vegeta settled down practically. And he's with the Earthlings. He says, you know what'll happen if Frieza finds out about this. He's gonna destroy everything. And Vegeta says, well, how would Frieza know about it if you don't say anything? Just come back and state that Kakarot's not there on the planet. That planet destroyed itself. And Raditz thinks about it, as now Nappa's now like the next in command, next above from Vegeta. And he's more arrogant than ever. He does keep Raditz around because he doesn't want to be lonely. That is literally the whole point. Well, Vegeta would then say, well, where's Nappa at anyway? And he says, well, Nappa's doing missions for Zarbon and Doria. It's a shock that we're not killed yet. And he says, well, that's not my problem. And so Raditz says, well, what am I supposed to do? And he says, that's not my problem either. And Goku would honestly tell Raditz, he says, well, why don't you stay here? And he says, well, listen, if those guys treat you that badly, you can stay here with us. Now, Raditz is a bit against it because he's still a Saiyan. So he thinks that Vegeta's gone soft and that Vegeta was weak for these humans manipulating him. Vegeta does not like that. So Vegeta tells Raditz as he walks up to him, Goku will put his hand on Vegeta's chest, stopping him, telling him, no. Give him a chance. Killing him for no reason. Vegeta would then glare at Kakarot and said, stay out of my way. He would then battle Raditz and absolutely slap Raditz around like he was nothing. But he would spare him, having some humanity within Vegeta now. He would spare Raditz and tell him, so why don't you stay on this planet and stay away from Frieza's wrath? They don't know. You can just say that the mission went sour. And Raditz says, but I can't do that. They'll know that I left and I'm not back. And Vegeta says, that's why you will leave and go tell Nappa. So that's what Raditz would do. Raditz would then leave and he would go meet up with Nappa, who was hanging around Dodoria and Zarbon at the time. Now, Raditz would then explain, as they could tell that he's hiding information, so they would torture him almost to get the info from him. Raditz explained that Prince Vegeta is alive. He is. He's alive, and he's on Earth with my brother. He's grown soft. Nappa would be fuming, and same with Dodoria and Zarbon, they'd be laughing, honestly. And he says, well, why don't we go to Earth and end the Prince of all Saiyans once and for all? So they would then bring Zarbon, Dodoria, some of their men, of course, and Nappa and Raditz along. Now, Raditz was just the beaten prize that they bring along with them, so they would then take one of the smaller Frieza ships and head towards planet Earth. Raditz was now traveling with Dodoria and Zarbon, with a bunch of men heading their way towards Earth. Now, Raditz was the punching bag, as Nappa was laughing at him for how weak he was, but if Prince Vegeta is alive, he could be a good asset to bring back. They don't know if he was a prisoner or more. Raditz didn't really say much about it. Now, Raditz is confident, though, that his brother and Prince Vegeta there, they will most likely be able to beat Dodoria and Zarbon. Raditz is a survivor. He knows that he cannot fight Nappa, Dodoria, or Zarbon at all. But he knows that his brother and the prince can fight them. So that's what he's going to do. Well, Goku and them were already preparing for this, and they were already ready. By the time that Zarbon and Dodoria, Nappa, and Raditz all arrived, they brought a few dozen men with them as well. Nappa was surprised to see Vegeta's all grown up, and he would tell him, why isn't this planet conquered? And Vegeta said that my ship was destroyed, so there was no way that I could have gotten out of here anyway. Nappa says, well, now that you are here, unfortunately, Vegeta, I am in charge now, and since that is the case, we can head back, and you can begin working for Frieza again, if that's what you want. Vegeta, of course, would completely decline this offer, telling him that he's not the same person that he used to be, and he's not going to listen to Frieza anymore. Nappa was a bit furious, and so the fight would begin. Now, the Z-Fighters would all handle the Frieza soldiers pretty easily, dispatching them quickly, because remember, they are pretty powerful. Training to keep up with Goku and Vegeta and them, they're pretty strong for sure. Even likes of Piccolo could defeat them pretty easily. Well, Raditz was staying far off in the background. Now, Goku knows that Raditz is not going to help them in terms of joining up with Dodoria and Zarbon. He brought them here on purpose so they can be handled because they're going to head here anyway. This is also Goku kind of saving Raditz in a way because he knows that Raditz would have been killed if Raditz didn't have good info. The best info was telling them that Vegeta was here. And Vegeta gets to kill Dodoria and Zarbon, so honestly, it's a win-win for everybody. Well, Vegeta would then begin by fighting Zarbon and Dodoria at the same time. This version of Vegeta is a lot more powerful than the original because of the gravity training. They've all gotten absurdly strong. Well, Nappa would then look to Raditz as he kind of puts two and two together why Raditz is not helping. And then that's when Goku would then handle Nappa. Similar to how he did during the Saiyan saga, he kind of toys with Nappa a little bit here and there, messing with him. And he would then give Nappa one chance to get out of here. As we look back to Vegeta. Vegeta's getting his W's today, as Vegeta is clowning both Dodoria and Zarbon. He's not going to have any mercy for them. He does defeat Dodoria rather quickly, punching right through him, and he falls into the water. As then, Zarbon was next. Zarbon would go into his full power state, and Zarbon would begin trying to attack Vegeta, but he was swiftly defeated as well, as Vegeta would blast a ki blast right through his stomach, defeating him, and they would then fall onto the ground as well. Nappa, again, he was being overwhelmed by Goku pretty easily. Goku gave him a chance to leave. Vegeta would kind of answer that by shooting a beam right through Nappa's head and defeating him. So they were all destroyed. Goku was angry at Vegeta, but Vegeta said that, listen, it's kill or be killed with these people. There is no negotiating with them. He would then look to Raditz and he would aim his hand ready to kill Raditz as well, but Goku would stop him saying no, give him a chance. He hasn't really done anything, and he's the one that brought them here. He could have just lied and told them the whole plan, but he didn't he? And Raditz says no. Goku says, well, I'll give you a chance to stay on this Earth and to be away from the likes of Frieza if you want. Now, Vegeta's still a little bloodthirsty. Vegeta's very cocky, very arrogant. He can definitely go fight the Ginyu Force, and he wants to destroy Frieza. That's his, that's a deep hatred that he has. He won't be able to really move on until he beats Frieza. And he tells Goku that. He tells him, Kakarot, listen to me. I need to see Frieza dead. I can't move on this way. I just can't sleep at night knowing that that bastard is out there right now. The one that destroyed our race. The one that caused so much pain. The one that killed my father. And do you really think that Frieza's going to stop? Once when he finds out that two of his top men, other than Captain Ginyu, is gone, he's going to want to head here and bring the Ginyu Force as well. So we need to train, because he will be coming. So Raditz would agree to stay as well, as Goku would agree with Vegeta. And Vegeta says, well, we need to train fast. What's the best way to train? And he says, well, gravity's one way, but it is very taxing. Goku says, I do know one area that we could use, that you could train for a whole year with only 1 day of training. And this piqued Vegeta's interest, and even Raditz. So that's what they decided to do. And now, of course, all the Z-Fighters would then go up to the lookout to prepare. Until he would then sense a weird energy. Now, he doesn't know what this energy is, but it appeared and then it disappeared randomly. He doesn't know what it was, but he sensed it. Vegeta sensed it too. Then it was gone. But they must have misread something. It was something else. Well, they would then prepare, as it was going to be Goku and Raditz actually going in the room so Goku can get Raditz stronger. Now, Vegeta, of course, was going to go in there by himself because it's Vegeta. They went over the basis of how the time chamber works, where everything is, as Popo explained it as well. Vegeta is definitely going to go in there first. So they do go in there. A day would then pass. Vegeta would then step out, stronger than ever. Now, this is where I believe that Vegeta did unlock Super Saiyan. Now, hold on. Hear me out, though. How did Vegeta unlock Super Saiyan? He never saw Kakarot as a Super Saiyan. He never saw Trunks as a Super Saiyan either. Well, the reason why I'm doing this is because Vegeta is so emotional and really driven by the fact that Frieza's still alive. Now think about this. Vegeta has basically settled down pretty much. He's basically almost become an Earthling just like Goku in a way, which is a big 180 to what he used to be. But the fact that Frieza is eating him that much because he knows that Frieza's alive, it terrifies him, makes him angry. That's all he imagines. And he wants to be stronger than Kakarot. He wants to be the strongest Saiyan. So imagine being in that rough environment to where it's extremely hot with flames all around you, or the ice cold, nearly dying, which is what Vegeta does. It will be a similar scene to when he was on the meteor. He would just be so angry that he just didn't care anymore, because now he's so weak and his pride was so hurt that he was turned so soft by Earth that he actually settled down. And the fact that Frieza was coming towards Earth as they speak, it was really hitting him. Remember, because it's a whole year. It was messing with him mentally. That whole year he was struggling because he was deep down. What really drove him was love. He was worried because the love of his life, aka Bulma, could have been killed. Or she can be. Vegeta won't be strong enough to protect them. He won't even be able to have his pride as a Saiyan when he fights Frieza. And during that year, this is when Vegeta would unlock Super Saiyan. Albeit, though, very, very late. It would be right before the time was up. So he does have Super Saiyan, but he does struggle to access it. As that's the issue with Vegeta. He did have the rage to unlock it. And Goku even said, too, in order to fully utilize the full power of Super Saiyan, you need to be pure of heart, but awakened by fury, but have a peaceful heart as well. Vegeta doesn't have a peaceful heart. He awokened it by pure fury, so it is harder for him to control. Now, if he is angry enough, he's pushed enough, he can access it, but he won't be able to utilize the full strength. But he does have it. When Vegeta does leave, he's more cocky than ever. He does want to fight Kakarot, but he feels that he doesn't need to. Why? He's a Super Saiyan now. He can beat Frieza himself. He'll beat Kakarot once when he's done beating Frieza and that skeleton is thrown away out of the closet. He will then defeat Kakarot by his own hands. So, Vegeta's so arrogant, he lets Goku go in there. Now, Goku was shocked that Vegeta unlocked new strength, and he asked Vegeta to show him. Now, Vegeta was able to tap into it, but it did take a while of yelling. He was able to access it, and it was absurdly strong. Stronger than his Kaioken. Even if he pushed it past times 20, Vegeta would eclipse that easily. It was incredible. Goku was truly amazed. But his energy was very wild. He wasn't fully utilizing the full strength of it. Now, true, this is a 50 times multiplier, but it's erratic. Like, he doesn't have a calm head. So Vegeta would then tap out of the form, and he was more cocky than ever. Now, Goku knows that he has a goal to reach now, and he has to get that power. He doesn't know how. Vegeta said that it was a surge of emotions awakening within me. So Goku knows what he has to do. Goku's very intelligent when it comes to training. So, that is exactly what Goku would do with Raditz helping him. Now, the first few months would be Goku training up Raditz first. Now, Raditz, of course, would struggle, but he would even be able to learn the Kaioken technique and be able to push it to times 2 and 3, and more later on. Raditz was able to catch up to Goku, as Raditz did have some pretty decent potential, since they never really trained. Well, Goku was then figuring out how the Super Saiyan form worked. It took him weeks upon weeks of meditating, and Goku had it down pat. He knows what he needs to do. Goku would then put himself in a scenario in his own head of the darkest, most evil things that he needs to imagine. He needs to unlock the power within him. Not as a need, not as a want, but he needs it. He needs it. He needs it to beat Frieza. He doesn't want it, but he has to have it. And with his calm heart, he was able to unlock it. It did take, because his SL count is extremely high since he is a lot more powerful than his original self. His SL count is insane. That he was able to unlock it. Now that he has a few months left, Raditz is blown away. He does try to help Raditz unlock Super Saiyan, and near the end of their training, Raditz almost gets it. His hair does flicker a little bit, but he doesn't have it yet. Raditz's body is just not ready yet. His SL count is not as high, unfortunately, like Goku or Vegeta's. But Goku is also training Super Saiyan differently. He stays in the form, learning to tap in and out of the form whenever he wants, and he has way better control over it. He's able to utilize the full power of Super Saiyan much better, though it is not fully mastered yet, as he would need a couple more months of training, but that's his game plan. He will stay in Super Saiyan just like he did when he was fighting in the Cell Saga, and he taught that to Gohan. So, when he does step out, Vegeta was shocked to see that he was a Super Saiyan, but he was really calm and acting natural. He was really angry because Kakarot was able to find a way to get Super Saiyan, not to mention a low class, and on top of that, he learned to master it better than he did, and it really infuriated him. Now, Vegeta would have challenged Goku right then and there, but they know that they don't have a lot of time because Frieza's heading his way there. Well, Goku would then tell everybody, you can go in the chamber you want, do whatever you want to do, but I think that we can handle Frieza. Now, the Ginyu Force was going to arrive first, since the space pods are a little bit faster, and they were also a lot closer to Earth than Frieza was. So the next few days would then pass, the Ginyu Force would have arrived. Now, of course, Ginyu would then have their team ready and do the famous Ginyu pose of the Ginyu Force, and then the Z Fighters and everyone else was there. Now, it would be mainly Raditz, Piccolo, of course his son, and of course Goku and Vegeta. Now, Goku would then handle Captain Ginyu, as Vegeta will handle Jason Berter, as Gohan and the others were struggling against the likes of Guldo. But then Piccolo would then help them by killing Guldo, so he was defeated. Now, mind you though, of course, Raccoon would be a big fight with Raditz, and Raditz would then use Kaioken technique to elbow Raccoon and kill him, defeating him in their matchup, because Raditz has gotten so much stronger. He was even shocked himself. Now back to Goku and Vegeta fighting Captain Ginyu. Vegeta was also fighting Jason Burr at the same time. He was way too cocky in base form, as he was slapping them around easily. Now Vegeta's not he's not merciful like Goku. He's insane. He's more cocky than ever. He tells them, "You need to bring Frieza here now. Frieza needs to hurry up faster." And well, while they were fighting the Ginyu Force, Frieza was soon to arrive. He was already in the planet's solar system, and he would be arriving there within a few minutes. Remember, because even Kami's old ship was able to go from Earth to Jupiter in literal second or two. So imagine Frieza's ship, that's even more advanced. Well, by then, Vegeta would have then killed Jason Berter easily, annihilating them. As Captain Ginyu was getting desperate, he would then try to take Goku's body. But Goku was much faster because he's so much stronger than him, way stronger. He'd be able to dodge the attack. And this is when he delivers a powerful blow to his stomach, sparing his life initially, but Vegeta would then break his neck by stomping on him, and he would then tell Kakarot how much of a blundering fool he is. He tells him that when Frieza shows up, he fights him. And if anything ever happens, listen to me, you do not show mercy. These men are killers. They don't care. Frieza's even worse than them. There is no mercy. This is war. Well, Frieza's ship would arrive with hundreds of men. The Z Fighters were all ready as they began fighting as men, Raditz as well, annihilating the men with everyone else. Goku and Vegeta would then meet up with Frieza. Now, Frieza did hear about these Saiyans causing issues. He was happy to see the Prince of all Saiyans, all grown up, settling down. It could almost shed a tear to the Emperor's eyes. The monkeys are advancing. But less than that, it's time to end the species once and for all. With him, Vegeta, and Raditz being killed, that will be the last of the Saiyans. The warrior race that he should have played fully is like a cockroach that just never dies, like Wally. It just continues living. Well, Vegeta would then step up first, and he would, of course, begin battling Frieza. Now, before he actually jumps into battle, Goku would then stop him. And he says, "What? You promised me it would be my turn." Goku says, "Well, listen, you're going to beat this guy pretty easy. Can I have a little bit of fighting? He seems really strong." And Vegeta would yell back at him. He says, "Wait a minute. How about paper, rock, scissors?" And he says, "Fine." They do paper, rock, scissors, and Goku wins. Vegeta's really pissed off, And Goku says, what? You agreed to it. And he would then happily run over to Frieza, ready to fight him. Now, Frieza was watching with disgust on his face. He's like, what the fuck? But past this point, though, Goku would then get serious as he would then battle Frieza. Frieza was still in his first form. Since he can't sense power levels, he does have his scouter, of course. When Goku begins to power up, his scouter would explode, shooting past 400,000, and his power level was still rising. He would battle first form Frieza, and he would overwhelm him pretty easily. And Goku already learned from Vegeta that he learned from Zarbon that Frieza does have more than one transformation. This is not his true form. He tells Frieza, why don't you stop holding back and go into your full power? What is your true form? And I think Frieza would do just that. Frieza would then go into his final form. I think he would skip his other forms because he knows how strong that punch was and that how overpowering Goku is, that his other forms would not really match. So he has to take it seriously. Not to mention, too, that if Vegeta's pretty confident, too, he was able to keep up the whole time, he could be just as dangerous. So Frieza would then go into his final form, surprising us with his pure energy, and him and Goku would continue fighting. Goku was still able to hold his own very well against Frieza. Frieza was even using, I would say, around 40 to 50% of his power. That's when he starts overwhelming Goku pretty fast. Of course, Goku's not using his full strength, but Goku's still holding his own pretty decently until Vegeta would then cut in and state that his turn is over. Goku had his fun, now it's his. And Frieza was fine with that, as he has some beef to settle with Vegeta for betraying his little Frieza force and staying on Earth. Goku would actually agree, as he did have a fun time fighting Frieza, but he could see the look in Vegeta's eyes as Vegeta's begging him just to give him this. Please, give me the W, you're the main character. So, Vegeta would then turn to battle Frieza. Now, Frieza was laughing, stating that, do you really think you can match me? And Vegeta says yes. Vegeta would not waste time, as he would then go full power. His hair would then turn golden, and he would transform into a Super Saiyan. As by this point, the Z-Fighters would have defeated Frieza's men, as they're nothing too special. The only one that might have had a little issue was Qui, but Qui was even weaker than the likes of Midoriya, so he would have been annihilated immediately. So, other than that, the rest of them are like 500 power level or less. As now, Vegeta as a Super Saiyan would then walk towards Frieza, says, yes, I've been a Super Saiyan for a while. I am the legend. Now, I will reclaim my throne as the Prince of all Saiyans once again, and I will annihilate you, as you deserve to be. And he would absolutely slap Frieza around. The fact that Goku and them are actually more powerful than they were on Namek in base form by a pretty huge margin. Goku's a little bit weaker than the likes of Final Form Frieza at his 50% power, which is around 60 million. Goku's a little bit weaker than that. If they even turn Super Saiyan at that point, it's overkill. Like, Frieza has no chance. So they're way above Frieza. I would say probably as Super Saiyans, I would roughly put their power, I would roughly say about the 500 million mark. So that would realistically put their base forms at around 10 million. So they is stronger than Namek. It's stronger than Namek Goku for sure. As Vegeta was annihilating Frieza, he was enjoying this as he was savoring every moment of it. Frieza would then tell Vegeta, wait, let me go into my full power. Now, this does intrigue Vegeta, as he's a member, his version is different than Goku. Goku wanted to beat Frieza at his best to prove to himself and to Frieza that who is the actual strongest, as that's just how Goku is. Vegeta just wants to do it just to show off, as that's the way a Saiyan is. Vegeta is so cocky in his power that he can beat Frieza no matter what. And that's what Frieza does. Frieza then goes 100%, and Vegeta was not impressed. He says, all that waiting, and that's how you repay me? You disgust me. You're weaker than I thought. But of course, you're no match for a Super Saiyan. As he would absolutely annihilate Frieza, even though Frieza got a power-up, Vegeta's probably in the 400 to 500 million. So he's nearly 5 times the strength of Frieza. He has zero chance. His punches do no effect like how Broly did. So Frieza would have been annihilated. Vegeta's not going to give him the time. He's not going to waste on him. He already satisfied. He would then fire a Big Bang attack, which is a new ability that he got, and absolutely annihilate Frieza, leaving no trace of him left. Or I would say maybe a couple pieces, but Frieza was pretty much dead. A part of his face was destroyed and half his body was missing. He was dead for sure. Now, since Frieza is destroyed, King Cold would never go to Earth. And the reason why is because he had zero interest even when Frieza was already cut up and half destroyed anyway. Frieza was the one who told him to go to Earth. King Cold even argued with him, saying, "What's the point? You're back, you're alive, rule the universe." That Saiyan has no interest in you no more. And Frieza was too PTSD to go, and he went to go find Goku. So King Cold wouldn't really care. He's more angry that his son was weak and he lost. But he then goes back to ruling the universe as he always did, just taking over Frieza's empire. So that would be left alone. So now there was finally peace though, Vegeta does want to fight Goku, as he wants to have his rematch right now. Goku would never turn down a fight, so he would turn Super Saiyan as well, and the fight would be very intense, but Goku would have the upper hand. Goku has a better level head of control, and he also has much better stamina control over Super Saiyan than Vegeta does. He can control his energy much better. Goku is slightly stronger. He would have beaten Vegeta. And Vegeta would have been defeated. Goku is the winner. But it was a very close fight, very intense, similar to when they fought each other as Super Saiyan 2s during the Buu arc when Vegeta was a Majin. It was kind of similar to that with how close it was, but Goku was able to win because his form was a bit more advanced. Vegeta would have lost, but Vegeta's pride was hit, but he does respect Kakarot, and peace was finally restored to Earth. Now, as about a year would pass of pure peace, what about the heart virus, as some people might recognize, since there's no futuristic timeline or anything like that? Goku would die of the heart virus. It does make sense that that would happen. But before we get into this, is there a future timeline? Now, of course, we can talk about originally that Trunks is from the original future timeline. I know some people have talked about it in the comments, stating, well, is the future timeline related to this one? No, I just want to clarify one thing, that Trunks' timeline is completely separate from this custom what if timeline. So he can still arrive at this timeline if I wish. He'll just be shocked to see that everything's different. And that's what's going to happen. So Trunks still shows up at the Rocky Wasteland. He sees that no one's there. Goku doesn't show up. He finds Goku at his home, and he would give him the whole rundown of the androids, when it's happening, what time, what place, and giving him the heart virus medicine. So now they have a few years to train. So, when that does take place, a few years would then pass of Goku training with Piccolo and Gohan, pretty much like the original. They would then see, though, that no androids have attacked yet. Trunks is there too, but they see nothing happening. There's no androids. There's nothing. Trunks was 100% right. This is when it happened. Did him going back change this much? Now, mind you, some people might say, what about him asked about the Red Ribbon Army before? Goku, again, he could tell Trunks that, well, they did destroy most of it, and Trunks already heard that story before. They heard that they destroyed the Red Ribbon Army, because Goku didn't know about Dr. Gero either way, so they still think it's still alive. Well, there's no androids. No Dr. Gero, no 17 or 18, sorry, Krillin. No nothing. Nothing happens. Like a wisp in the wind. Now, there is Cell, by the way. Cell is around because he's from Trunks' timeline, but that's for a later on bit. But yeah, Cell is going to be disappointed when he finds out that there's no androids here. But yes, he is still lurking around his first form Cell, doing his thing. Until Cell was then heading towards a town to begin absorbing some humans. He knows that around this time the androids would soon be revived and brought out. This means he can absorb them. But he wants to get some strength first. So he begins attacking very, very, very small villages and towns, absorbing their energy. Until someone does appear. It was a woman. He's never seen this woman before in his life. She wore a lab coat, and if you see the picture now, you automatically know who she is. She is an android. Android 21. She was a big researcher for the Red Ribbon Army. Now, while Vegeta did attack that area, she was badly ruined by the explosions and the damage. She would then tell Cell that she is a part of the Red Ribbon Army, and for Cell to come with her. Cell would agree, as he was thinking about just absorbing her, but she did prove that she was, as she knew all about him. She's more dangerous than you realize, as now they would then arrive at her secret lab. She would then explain that she did see some early plans for some bio-androids, but unfortunately, she never went down that route. She found something even more impressive. And Cell says, what is that? As she would then shape her hand into a different shape, size, and etc. Similar to Majin Buu. She said that far out in space, and during her research, she found a piece of a being called Majin Buu, this strange pink goo that can adapt and change, do whatever she wished. She doesn't know how she found it, but during her research, she was able to find a small piece of it. And with this, she was able to enhance her body, becoming indestructible. She can absorb people, change her shape and size to whatever she wanted, and she can heal any injury. But she could use Cell. She says that I can mess with your DNA and maybe trick them into transforming into your final form, as you would provide as a tasty snack. And Cell doesn't know what she means until then she hits him with a candy beam. She laughs and states, I can't recreate your DNA, you need the two androids, and unfortunately, I don't have them, sorry, but you will make a delicious snack to make myself stronger. And she would eat him as he was a piece of candy, and she was stronger as her eyes were black with red pupils. She already has a few plans in motion as she looks at her wonderful creations. Lined up in tanks were the likes of full power Frieza, having some strange bioenhancement machines attached to his legs. A piece of his face was pure machine as well, and they were glowing red. Similar with Nappa, who was missing almost most of his face, and similar with Zarbon and Dodoria as well. As the Ginyu Force were completely blown up to smithereens by Vegeta, there's no trace of them. She's going to use them to distract the other Z Fighters, as she wants to eat Goku and Vegeta to become stronger. Well, the Z Fighters would then sense a strange energy, and they would then see destruction all around. They would then look to see it was Frieza, Nappa, Dodoria, and Zarbon, but they were strange. They weren't normal. They had rough-looking robotic attachments to their body, fixing their face, their arms, their legs, and they couldn't really sense their energy no more, but they could feel the pressure that they were much stronger than they originally were. Now, by this point, Goku does get sick with a heart virus as it starts taking effect. This is when Yamcha would then help Goku get back to his home, where they would begin giving him the heart virus medicine, as Android 21 would begin looking for Goku, first going to his house, of course. They would then go to Goku's home and swap Goku out, as Bulma would help them, dropping him off at Master Roshi's place, away from everywhere, where they wouldn't find him. Now, that was her whole plan. She wants to absorb Goku and Vegeta, of course, later on, as now Vegeta would see that Nappa, Zarbon, Dodoria, and Frieza's alive, but they do speak, bits of them, as Frieza would then laugh and look at them, stating, "The Saiyans here to die," as because he's still half robotic, but their personalities are morphed. They were changed. They're not the same anymore. They're more machine than what they were, only being able to speak some phrases from their memory. As Vegeta would then frown as he says this is a problem, but he would then turn Super Saiyan and he would then fly in, beginning to attack them all. Even the likes of Zarbon, Dodoria, and even the likes of Nappa, they're all pretty much nearly equal in strength. The likes of Dodoria and Zarbon, they're about 500,000 to nearly 1 million. Nappa's around 250,000, and Frieza is around 300 to 400 million. He's way stronger as they've been enhanced. As Vegeta was able to handle Frieza pretty well, as he was overwhelming him pretty quickly. It made it more difficult because Frieza was regenerating. The pieces that would have broken off of his physical flesh would then be replaced with metal, as it was strange. Vegeta would then tell them that you need to destroy every piece of them. Make sure that they're nothing but just mere atoms or less. Destroy every bit of them. As Piccolo and the others would then agree, Raditz is also much stronger because he's been training with Piccolo, Goku, and them, so he's really, really powerful as well. By this point, I honestly think he can go Super Saiyan. I think that would honestly be Goku's mission to go Super Saiyan 2 as well. So, no, there's no Super Saiyan 2, I just said 2. So, well, Raditz would then go Super Saiyan, and he would then attack Dodoria Zarbon, as Piccolo would easily handle Nappa. They would then use their full strength, all three of them working together. They would then blast these androids, completely annihilating them, so there's no trace left. But that was all a ruse. As they would then look up, there's Android 21. She would then zap Vegeta, Raditz, Piccolo into candy, and she would then eat them, becoming even stronger, gaining their powers, as they were delicious, and now she feels stronger than ever. Now, with Goku on the mend, Trunks did see this happen, but he was able to escape just in time. He tells them what's happening, as Android 21 is now looking for Goku. That's her final mission, to find Goku, eat him, and then she can rule over the Earth and eat them all, and then grow even more powerful, surrounding herself around the entire universe. Now, Goku would finally awaken from the heart virus a few days later, as she's been rampaging, eating all the humans on Earth. Now, one instance as well, Babidi would make himself known. Now, Android 21 does look more like her Majin self, with the pink skin, and so Babidi would actually make himself known, but we'll touch up on this later, as Babidi would try to corrupt her mind and take her over. But we'll get into that later, as Babidi is smart. He knows how unhinged she is. He does try to attack her through his Mystic Ball, but it doesn't work initially. She gets rid of it. So that doesn't work. Well, Babidi would then back off, and he says, well, I can't take her over, and she's already stronger than even the likes of Deborah. So Babidi would then say, we need to stand back. If it does get too severe, we need to try, and I'll hold her off mentally. You try and destroy her. Take her energy, because Majin Buu can destroy her. That's Babidi's main plan, as Babidi was staying in the background the whole time. Well, Goku would finally recover from the heart virus issue, and he knows that he's not strong enough to go up against the likes of her. It's just too dangerous. So Goku and Trunks now, they would ask Popo to go into the Room of Spirit in Time for as long as they can. Now, when they do arrive, they were in there for a few hours now, as Android 21 finally found them. Now, she was ready to go right in, but Popo would stop her, explaining that the door cannot be opened. And he says the reason why, you could seal the dimension and they'll be trapped in there. You won't be able to have your tasty treat. Now, some of the other people are there, such as Yamcha and the others, even Krillin, and they would explain that, stating that it will only be a few more hours. If you wait, you will have the most delicious treats of them all. They'll be stronger than ever for you to absorb them. Now, she is getting more and more psychotic because the evilness has taken over her, so she does actually agree. So it's a similar scene to when Super Buu was hanging around, having a milkshake and relaxing. That's what she would do and wait for a couple more hours. So Goku and Trunks would continue training. Goku tells Trunks that there is a form past this, a way to ascend the Super Saiyan strength. Not the bulky way with muscles. They already went over that. He says there's a way to push yourself beyond that. And he asks Trunks to help him. No matter what it takes, we have to. And that's what they do, as when the hours were up, Android 21 was finally tired of waiting, but the door would open. And here comes her main treat, Goku himself. And Trunks, that's even better. And she doesn't even know who Trunks really is, but carry on. But he looks delicious as well. Goku would then challenge her outright and tell her, why don't you hand me my friends first, and then I'll fight you as much as you want. Of course, she would decline that, stating, not happening. Sorry. And Goku says, fine, I guess we don't have a choice then. And he says, well, the problem is that Piccolo is there, and that means that Kami will die if he kills him. He has to find a way. Well, this is when Goku began fighting Android 21. And the battle was very intense. Even as a Master Super Saiyan, they were almost evenly matched, but her abilities made it very difficult for Goku to keep up. Now, she did try her candy beam, but he was able to dodge it. Barely. Now, she was very dangerous, and she says, nah, I want to beat you up a little bit more before I eat you yet. I want to enjoy this. So she continues battling Goku, and Goku doesn't have a choice now, as he knows he has to ascend and go to his next form. Goku would then transform himself into a Super Saiyan 2. As a Super Saiyan 2, he overpowers her easily, but she seemed to be struggling, though, as she was holding her head and seemed like she was distracted. And Goku says, what's the matter with you? But Goku can feel it. He can almost feel her separating. Like the goodness that was in her heart is forcing itself away from her. Like she's splitting in two. Goku would then try to encourage that by telling her that the good's trying to leave you. If you can hear me in there, leave it. And that would then happen. As he got the evil version of her too angry, the good was able to escape. Now that it was able to escape, she would then look pretty much the same in her Majin state, but not as a darker shade of pink and as evil. Her eyes were actually normal, white with blue pupils, and she was very nice and very sweet. And she does have the good halves, aka she has Piccolo, Vegeta, and the others. She brought them with her to help them, and she would then spit them back out as they were then landing on the ground. Now, the evil version was so furious that she would power up to her full strength to try and destroy the planet. Goku would stop it, as he would then rush forward, yelling out, Dragon Fist. With the Dragon Fist punching right in her stomach, he would then completely envelop her with the dragon, eating her, and it would completely incinerate the evil Majin android. Now that she was completely erased, or was she? Goku didn't realize that her absorption was that good, as there's a small piece of her remaining. But it's slowly starting to regenerate, and the good one notices this, telling Goku to do something. Goku would then raise his hands into the air, as the evil version was finally back, and she was heading right towards Goku. She was so corrupted with evil that it was surrounding the planet. Goku would then fly above the evil clouds that she formed as she was heading towards him, as he was forming up the Spirit Bomb. And he had just enough energy as this Spirit Bomb would then purify her. As while she was coming right at him, he threw it right at her, causing a huge explosion, and the clouds would then dissipate as the Spirit Bomb cleared the planet. Now that it was all cleared, she was fully destroyed now, the good one still remained. Now, Goku was severely wounded because this was an intense battle. She would heal Goku, and she would explain what happened. She explained that she doesn't condone what the other one did at all. It was terrible. And once when the other Z Fighters wake up, they did want to beat her until they realized that she was actually good. Goku says there's zero evil in her heart. She's passive. And he says that she separated herself and split in two, similar to how Kami and Piccolo has done before. And Trunks wonders that this is really the opposite from his timeline, but this is just incredible. And she does apologize for all that she did. She truly does. She doesn't mean any, she didn't mean any harm. And she says that she'll promise she'll behave. She promises. Now, Vegeta does not want to have this experience ever again, being turned into a piece of candy, so past the trauma is gone now, there was finally peace on Earth. Now, during the 7 years since Goku never died, he would still be on Earth. Now, he's still pretty intelligent, so he is still continuing to push his forms even further and further. And Android 21, she did prove herself to be a good ally. And Krillin gets a W today, folks. He does not pull Android 18, but he pulls 21. Getting Android 21, as she does find Krillin really sweet. As Raditz would also get launched as well, since she'd given up on trying to go after Tien, who was the Chad of dodging. So there was finally peace on Earth. Things were finally peaceful for over 7 years. Until an evil wizard would have his eyes on Android 21 to hatch his plan for Majin Buu. There has been 7 years of peace from the defeat of the evil Majin Android 21. But now, the evil wizard Babidi begins to make his move, as his goal is to resurrect the evil, destructive monster that is known as Majin Buu. Most of the events will transpire pretty much the same, as the only difference here is that Goku's not dead. So he will not arrive at Baba and have a big surprise with everybody. Goku would still meet up for the World Martial Arts Tournament. The junior division would still happen, where you would have the likes of Goten and Trunks still fighting. That would practically go the same. And most of the events would start, of course, Gohan is still going to Orange Star High School. Now, again, Gohan wouldn't really be that much different from his original character, because again, Chi-Chi's always shoving notebooks down his neck, so it wouldn't make too much sense. But Gohan, of course, has kept his training up at least a little bit more than he did in the original, not slacking off entirely. That's because Goku is around, and Goku's making sure that he does stay in shape, and he's also able to, kind of slide Chi-Chi the other direction, so they can sneak off and train and kind of persuade her. But Gohan is not as much of a slouch as he was in the Buu Saga, and even Goten is actually much more powerful than in the original because he has Goku to train with. Gohan's not much of a trainer. You saw that Goten did barely really any training, and he was able to keep up with Trunks, who trained at 300 times gravity with his father. Now this shows to show you. Now imagine Goku, who is so much stronger, and shows him how to get stronger. Goten will be an absolute unit, and he would be very powerful. So Goten would defeat Trunks, and they would go Super Saiyan, but he would have won. He would have defeated Trunks. It still would have been a pretty close battle, but Trunks has no chance. Goten's potential is probably the most wasted in the show. As for Gohan, he would still meet Videl. Their love will go the exact same. Gohan would still be the Golden Warrior and become the Great Saiyaman. Now, Videl would still be attacked by Spopovich, and she would be defeated and tortured almost. Gohan would then go Super Saiyan 2 against Kibito Kai. Now, against the Kibito, they were all shocked to see his power. This version of Gohan, I think he can unlock Super Saiyan 2. It's been 7 years. He would have already had Super Saiyan by having Goku, especially Super Saiyan 2. And the one difference here is that Gohan's not a slouch. So Gohan is actually stronger than, I would roughly say he's probably around as strong as he was when he fought Cell. So he is still a bit weaker than Goku and Vegeta because he's not training as much, but he's also not super weak. Like, he was way weaker than Cell was, even as a Super Saiyan 2, because the likes of Dabura was able to overwhelm him in their battle. Well, Gohan here would shock everybody with his power. His energy would still be absorbed. With his power now absorbed, they would then begin flying off with his energy. This is what the Supreme Kai wanted because they want to find his ship and destroy it. Now, Android 21 is with them, and the Supreme Kai is worried because she does have Majin attributes. Babidi could use that to their advantage, but it's safer that she's there because if something does happen, they can stop it. So it'll be Goku, the Supreme Kai, Android 21, and Gohan and Vegeta. They would all five would then leave and make their way over there. Once when they do arrive at Babidi's ship, Vegeta would easily defeat Pui Pui within a single strike, and of course Goku would fight Yakon, and he would easily defeat him, just bursting into Super Saiyan 2 as we saw. The energy was too much, he'd be exploded. Now Babidi's panicking as Gohan's energy was massive. It really did help him out, and Majin Buu is almost resurrected, but he needs a little bit more, so he would send Dabura out to go fight one of the people, while he has a little distraction. Now, as Dabura would then step out, he would go fight Gohan. Now, Dabura is getting beat up by Gohan. Now, he does handle himself okay-ish, but Gohan is just way too strong. He is above him, as Dabura is relative to that of Perfect Cell, not Super Perfect, and that same Super Saiyan 2 Gohan nearly crippled Cell within 2 punches. So imagine this version of Gohan too, without as much bloodlust. So yeah, Dabura was getting mixed up really bad, and that did give enough energy to actually revive Majin Buu because of the damage that he was giving back to Gohan too, as he was using his sword and they did do some good slashes. Well, that's the case. You would also have Babidi also try taking over Android 21's mind. Now, we're just going to call her 21 as he's taking over 21's mind. She was struggling because she does have bits of Buu biology inside of her, but the good thing is there's no evil in her heart, so she is pure, so she does reject the power. Now, Babidi would then panic and he would try going for Vegeta since he's the only other one with tainted heart. Now, Vegeta does get hit by it, and this is the distraction while Dabura does as much damage as he can against Gohan. And Vegeta would reject it this time. There's no Majin Vegeta. And the reason why there's no Majin Vegeta is because Vegeta can fight Goku whenever he wants. He can fight him whenever he wishes. He doesn't have the grudge against him, and he kind of accepted that Kakarot's better than he is. So that's the whole reason behind it. Now, some people are asking, what about Raditz or any other character? Well, they're not going to show up because these are like the main cast that's here, and they need them to protect their family in case anything happens if Buu does beat them and they go anywhere else. So that's just to clarify that real quick. But now, of course, Majin Buu would still be born. I believe with Gohan's energy and the fact that he was fighting Dabura, that would give Buu just enough energy to be revived. Now that Majin Buu is revived, 21 was worried because this is the same creature, has the same powers as her. Now, Goku instantly notices that Buu is not as evil as it may seem. He does have some evil energy, of course, but he's mostly a pure being. He almost just seems like a naughty child. He doesn't know any better, and he seems to be easily swayed by Babidi. So Goku would outright challenge Buu initially, but then Vegeta would then put his hand up and he says, no, 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 you had your fun. Let me step in. And he does have a gripe to get with Babidi and this Buu creature because they did try taking him over, but his pride would not allow it. So Vegeta would then go Super Saiyan 2 and he begins fighting Fat Buu. All the while, 21 would have killed Babidi, Ki blasting, killing him, so Buu does not have a master no more to tell him what to do. Now, Vegeta was holding himself pretty well against Majin Buu. His power is roughly the same. You could say a little bit higher because he has Goku around to really spar with. So you could say he's a little bit stronger. I would say without the Majin buff, he's at the same level as he was as a Majin. So when he does have the Majin control, he gets a lot stronger. That's how strong he is now. So he does toss around Buu, but we know that Buu's not fighting seriously. He's just messing around. Until he gets angry, he then starts beating Vegeta pretty badly. Now, 21 was worried and she was going to step in, but Goku put his hand out saying, no, Vegeta has his trump card. And Goku would smirk as they both worked on that together. Vegeta would then begin to transform, ascending even further. As his hair grows much longer, looking like the rip-off version of Beast Gohan, and his hairline is much worse. But Vegeta has now gone Super Saiyan 3. I think that with Goku around, both of them trying things out together, and of course sparring so much together, pushing themselves, and they are stronger than the original slightly, I think it is possible. Whatever Goku can do, Vegeta can do. And Vegeta proved this by having it in Daima. So imagine having Goku around during the 7 years to train. It is very possible. So Vegeta now has Super Saiyan 3, and he would overpower Buu. As Majin Buu could have been beaten by Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he said so himself, that he could have killed Fat Buu if he wanted, but he didn't want to because he wanted the boys to have fun, which is a stupid mistake. As Vegeta was absolutely annihilating Fat Buu because he's not holding back, Goku would actually stop Vegeta and tell him, no, Buu's lost, and he says that Buu's not all evil. So Vegeta would then think about it, and he would then look to Goku and he says, fine, but that's your problem. And Goku says, well, we can stop him anytime we need to, so it's fine. He would then tell Buu to not cause any issues and leave people alone. Buu understands. Now, for plot reasons, we're going to say that Mr. Satan still does meet Fat Buu, and the reason why is you could say because they spotted a pink monster near the city who actually did kill people and use their bodies to build his house. So that is a very viable reason that Mr. Satan would go out there to go defeat the monster, because he is the world champ. And then that's how he meets Buu. Now, B and Hercule would still be shot because there would be some hitman ready to kill Majin Buu. We know how that went. Majin Buu flipped out, and in turn, he then split in two, thus having evil Buu and the good Buu. Unfortunately, the good Buu was overwhelmed by the evil Buu, who blew back his own candy beam right at Fat Buu, turning him into chocolate where he was eaten, thus becoming the vile monster that is Super Buu. Now, Super Buu wants a rematch, as he was still evil, obviously, but he was wanting a fight. He promised a fight. Now, Goku and the others were at the lookout, and they then sensed this massive power, and it was heading right this way. They were all worried, as then Super Buu does appear. Now, Vegeta, mind you, he still thinks that he could probably fight Super Buu, but Goku stops him, telling him, what, are you stupid? We can't fight that. Even both of us teaming up in our third forms would not really do too much against him. He's too powerful. But then he has an idea. He then works with Piccolo and Raditz and them, and he tells them to distract Buu. Him and Vegeta would then go into the Room of Spirit and Time. Goku does have a technique that they can practice inside of there in private. Now, how would Goku know this technique? I'll explain that all in just one moment, as Piccolo would then agree. So the same scene would happen where Majin Buu would have to wait at least about the 24-hour mark, but still. But a 1 day equals 1 year inside the Room of Spirit and Time. So that's what they're going to do. So Buu would begin waiting, hanging out, doing his thing, while Goku and Vegeta do step inside. Now, Goku and Vegeta do their training for a couple of months to get stronger in their Super Saiyan 3 states, the usual, and they do get much stronger. But Goku says that we can keep pushing ourselves, but we're not going to get that much stronger. And yes, we might have a decent chance at holding our own against him now, for sure, if we both really work together. But if we really work together and fuse our two bodies, we will be able to defeat him easily. And Vegeta is absolutely against this. This is not happening for sure. No way. He says he'd rather die than fuse with him. And Goku says, Vegeta, we can practice it here. There's no one here. No one to see us. Vegeta, if we don't do it, you're gonna let your darling Bulma and your child Trunks die? And Vegeta was mad that he used that against him. And he says, well, how the hell did you learn this technique over the 7 years? And Goku said, do you remember when I disappeared for almost a year during that 7-year skip? And he says, yes, you said that you went off to go train. And he says, oh, well, I did. With Kami's help, I was able to go to King Kai's world once again, and King Kai teleported me around to parts of the other world where Goku learned more techniques. He even met some of the Ardrat people, and he learned instant transmission. But there, he learned the best technique that he could know, which is the fusion technique. He tells Vegeta about it, saying that if you do the dance, we have all the same power level, we become one being, and we become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. We can defeat him easily, Vegeta, if we really work together. Just this one time. But we need to practice this, though. We cannot mess up. And Vegeta was 100% against it, but he says fine. So after another month, which is about another hour or so, Buu's tired of waiting. As he's ready to start killing people, the door would then open and Goku and Vegeta then step out, as they were now ready. As Goku then tells Buu that let's do this, but away from everybody else, and we'll show you the special fighter. Now Vegeta was just blushing a little bit as this is so embarrassing. As he's not a dancer, they would then go to the Rocky Wasteland, and Buu wants to see the fighter. And Goku says, just watch, Buu, you're gonna love this. And he says, Vegeta, just this one time, let's do this. And Vegeta says, fine, but I'm never doing this again. They would then do the fusion dance and become Gogeta. As Buu was shocked to see this, he was excited. Now Gogeta would then rush right on in base form and treat him like how he did with Buuhan and Vegeta in base form. He was just toying with him. He was already stronger than him already. He would then go Super Saiyan, and Gogeta is a bit different than Vegeta. Some people are saying like he's the same character. Whoever says that, you're a literal peanut. You're stupid. They are very different with how they act and how they do things. Vegeta's more of a cocky character, messes around, he's more arrogant. Gogeta, while he does talk some shit still, he's on demon time, like he's on business. He's always been that way. When he fought against Janemba, when he fought against Broly, he was not holding back any punches. He was ready to get it done, which is more like a Goku trait, to get it done. Well, now we would then have Gogeta as a Super Saiyan absolutely embarrass Super Buu. Now, Buu would become desperate, as he would then try to absorb Gogeta, and it would work. Gogeta was absorbed. Now, everybody panicked because his power was unmatched, and now Buu's stronger than ever. But Buu doesn't change. As he begins searching his own body, Gogeta formed a shield around himself. And since they're not tied by magic, like how the Potara earrings are, their fusion would not change. So they're still in the fusion. Now, they don't have too much time to mess around since they're on a time limit. They need to move. They would quickly travel through Buu's body, and they would then find Fat Buu. As Super Buu would try attacking them, but they would easily bust through him. They would then free him, thus giving birth to Kid Buu as they then escape. Now, Kid Buu would immediately try blowing up the planet like he did on the original, but Gogeta would then stop it. They would have a little fight as he's weaker than even Super Buu, as Gogeta would then state that he needs to end this. So he would then use the Stardust Breaker, which pretty much just destroys every part of you if you're evil and more. So he then uses the attack. Kid Buu is reduced to literal nothingness as he is killed. Now, people were worried because Fat Buu then awakened and Hercule would hug him. They were worried about him, but they would then defuse. And Goku says, no, he's good. I swear to you, he's positive, and there's no more evil in him. So since the evil was all destroyed. So Buu and Mr. Satan would go do their own thing, winning tournaments. Just Mr. Satan lets him, of course, win. I mean, why not? Because he's so powerful, he can one-shot Buu. He could one-shot even Zeno if he wanted to, with a dynamite kick. So the Buu saga was ended, and of course, the Supreme Kai would still offer the likes of Gohan and others to begin their training if they want to, as some sort of payment for helping them defeat Majin Buu. Now, Goku would never turn down extra training. Same with Vegeta, same with Gohan and the others, so they would, of course, take this up on it. Now, Goku's not a sword user, same with Vegeta. Gohan has used swords before, so he definitely would use the Z-Sword. Freeing it, they would still break the Z-Sword, and thus would give birth to Elder Kai. Now, Elder Kai, mind you, he would then unlock Gohan's potential and others as well. Now, the events of Daima will practically go almost the same, just the only difference here is they are stronger. Why? Well, because they all have basically their own like mystic forms to a degree. Now, Goku would still unlock Super Saiyan 4 because of the magic that Neva used. Now, we don't have too much info about the Super Saiyan 4. We don't know if it only works in the demon realm because it's magical. We don't know, but I'm just going to say that it's not. Like, Goku had it. He just never used it. That's just a big plot that Akira left. Rest in peace to the GOAT. But we're going to say that Goku now has Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta says he can keep that because he's working on his mystic power, as he believes that that's a better way. And Gohan has the power as well. Well, far off, Lord Beerus was still awakened, having dreams of a being that could rival his power. He would still arrive on Earth this time, not on King Kai's world, and he wants to fight. Of course, Goku and them would take him up on that offer because, again, Goku's arrogant. Of course, he still kind of wants to go after him. So, you all know what would happen, though. Even if he went Super Saiyan 4, which is his most powerful strength, he would get beat up by Beerus. He doesn't have a chance. Beerus is very impressed by his power, though. He will give him credit. He is very powerful for a mortal with no divine energy. Vegeta and Gohan would try, but we all know how that works. Like, none of the other characters, even Raditz or Piccolo, none of them could touch him. He's just too strong. And he's getting irritated because he wants to fight a god, not mortals. So, they would then use the Dragon Balls. And by this point, Piccolo and Kami would have became one because Kami's getting too old. So, yeah, Piccolo would have been fused. So they can still use the Dragon Balls. If that was the case, though, and Kami knew that he was getting too old, because Piccolo Dragon Balls become useless, they could always go to Planet Namek because Kami knows about it. So Kami can tell them, even Popo knew. They can go to Namek and get Dende, which would then make sense. So you could say that during those 7 years, Dende did arrive on Earth, made a new set of Dragon Balls, and then there you go. That's how it could work. So Piccolo is fused with Kami. So there you go. That's a little plot hole that was just shoved in there, and now it is fixed. Well, we then used Shenron to then speak about the Super Saiyan God. He would explain the story of Yamoshi and the fact that you need 5 Saiyans to give their energy to 1, having 6 Saiyans total. Luckily, they do. Since they have Raditz and the other people as well, they can give their energy, and even Videl, as who she says was pregnant because of Gohan's child, but she kept it as a surprise. They would all give their energy to Goku. Goku would become the Super Saiyan God. Now, Goku would begin battling Beerus, and the reason why they picked Goku is because Goku is the physical strongest in base form to get the power, so carry on. Now, Goku as a Super Saiyan God, he was able to fight Beerus. He is more powerful than he is in the original as a Super Saiyan God. Unfortunately, to characters like Beerus, it doesn't matter, because Beerus is absolutely a menace to society. He's just way too strong. Goku would put up a very tough fight against Beerus. They would trade blows back and forth. The fight would practically go the same as it originally did in the movie or in the Super Show, whatever you want to go down. Unfortunately, against Beerus, Goku would still lose. Beerus is very impressed though by Goku's strength, so he decides to spare Earth, and he does really like the food too. Now, Vegeta would still sway Whis into training him for the next few months. Now, Goku would be able to get on Beerus' world as well. The rest of the Saiyans would then stay on Earth to protect it in case anything happens. Now, with Goku and Vegeta now training, the next 2 years would pass. Goku and Vegeta have gotten much stronger because they've learned to control the God energy and unlock forms such as Super Saiyan Blue. Now, the Frieza arc would still happen because they would still use the Dragon Balls to wish Frieza back to life. Now, Frieza, again, he would still train for the next few months to get his golden form. When he does show up to Earth, his men have a bit of a tougher time because not only are the Z Fighters stronger than the original, there's also more of them, Raditz etc. included. So their men gets overwhelmed, and Gohan he's not really weak like he was because he's keeping his training up because Goku was around to teach him to keep training. He doesn't have that mindset of just being weak and just kind of like slacking off. Gohan would then go Mystic, and he would actually fight Final Form Frieza. And he would actually hold his own pretty decently, but Frieza's still stronger than him. He's holding back still. But Gohan is able to, to hold his own. This would give Goku enough time to instant transmission him, Vegeta, and the others right there to Frieza. Now, Goku would step up first, and he would begin his battle with Frieza. The fight would go practically the same. Goku is slightly stronger because, again, this version of Goku is stronger than the original. And he's also training more intelligently because he is more big brain, as the What If says. So Frieza does get overwhelmed by Goku until Frieza would then showcase his golden form. Goku would then go Super Saiyan Blue and their fight would still commence. This time around, Golden Frieza was stronger than Goku in the original, but this time around, Goku's stronger than him already. So Frieza is getting overwhelmed. Goku already satisfied because he is stronger than Frieza. Assuming the fight would be worthless, and also because Vegeta's pressuring him to give it up so he can step in and fight Frieza. He wants this. So Vegeta would then step up, turn blue, and battle Frieza. Vegeta does make the bad mistake, though, of dropping his guard, and Frieza would then blow up the planet. But Whis does reverse time about 5 minutes back, and Goku would destroy Frieza. The fight would practically go the same as the original. It's just the one difference is Goku has kind of gotten rid of his bad issue to where he drops his guard. And because he's more intelligent, he's figured out how to drop it. So that laser that would hit his chest from Sorbet would not happen. Goku would dodge it. And he would fire a ki blast and kill Sorbet. So, yeah, all that's pretty much over. So, Frieza would have been destroyed, and peace is finally restored to Earth, as that arc is now finished. As for the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 arc, it would still happen, as Beerus is still cocky that he could win against Champa. Now, most of the fighting would go the same. I think the team-up would almost be the same, as Gohan is stepping back because of their child. He's not fighting him mainly, and Raditz is also in the same boat, having a child of his own, so he doesn't want to do all that. So it would mainly just be Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta. But that's all they really need, since Goku blitzed through Potamo and etc. easily. And when he fights Frost, Frost does cheat and knock Goku out. This is when Piccolo would then step up and fight Frost, but Frost was then caught for cheating by Jacko, who was there on Frieza when Frieza was trying to take over Earth and still helping the fight. Well, Frost was then absolutely gut punched by Vegeta, knocked out of the ring, and then Vegeta would then carry the whole team, getting Vegeta, Kaba, and he knocked out Frost too. So Vegeta was the MVP of the show. When he goes up against Hit, even as a Super Saiyan Blue, he is stronger than the original, but Hit can't adapt. He's never seen his time skip before, and he wasn't ready for Hit's abilities. Hit did overwhelm him, and Vegeta was soon defeated. It did take a few more strikes for this to happen, and Vegeta was almost able to land a hit like the original, but it wouldn't do anything against him. So he was knocked out of the ring. Vegeta was also tired because he's been fighting like 3 opponents, and a big one was Vegeta as well. So Vegeta's, he's no joke. Now when Goku goes up against Hit, Goku did see how he fought. That's how he did so well. Goku is a genius. So he would actually be able to figure out Hit's moves much faster because he does have higher intelligence and he's not as foolish as he is. As he'd be able to figure it out much quicker with already seeing it. So when he goes blue, he's overwhelming Hit without the need of Kaioken just yet. Now, I still think that of course Goku would still use the Kaioken technique with his blue form, but he would take more caution with it so he can hold it much better than the original. Because he was even saying himself that it was still an early prototype. So if he did overuse it, it could go really ugly. But this version of Goku being smarter, he knows to train the Kaioken up even more. So Kaioken does not damage him as badly, and he can use the technique better with Blue. Because Blue is such a calm form. As Goku would use Kaioken, this time he would actually win the fight. Using Kaioken times 10, he would win. When he did clash with Hit originally, he would use times 20, almost killing himself though because of the overstrain of his body, but that's how well he trained his body for the Kaioken technique for that to even happen. That would be twice the power. He was able to knock out Hit and be the winner. They wouldn't use Monaka since they already know that he's strong enough. He would just use as a stunt to basically make himself strong and to help kind of motivate Goku to make him stronger. Well, now that Hit was then knocked out and he was defeated, Beerus would still use the Super Dragon Balls to wish Champa's planet back, and Champa, of course, not thank him for it, but carry on. Now, for the events of one of the most disastrous arcs, such as the Goku Black arc, the Goku Black arc, would it play out differently, or would it go the same? Well, Trunks still time traveled. It doesn't matter what or when he still time traveled. This is from the original Future timeline. The events of him helping the Supreme Kai to defeat Deborah and Babidi would still happen. Yes, the Goku Black arc would still technically happen. One difference, though, is Goku is smarter. And by smarter, I mean that he knows how serious it is by Beerus explaining. See, Goku in Super is a bit stupid. Okay, I'll be honest, he's really stupid. He's way more childish. Like, Goku knows that the time travel stuff is a big no-no. Now, he didn't know that back with Trunks, and Trunks did it, and Beerus gave him a pass for it, but he said, you need to go back to your timeline, whatever it takes. Now, when Goku Black does arrive, Beerus would warn Goku, say, I'm telling you right now, if Zeno finds out about this, he will kill everyone, and you can't stop it. Goku knows how serious this is. So when Goku goes to go fight Goku Black, this time around, he wouldn't hold back. He knows how serious it is, and he knows that Goku Black can time travel because they saw the time ring. So yes, he would absolutely annihilate Goku Black. As he's not going to time travel with Trunks because he doesn't want Zeno to destroy everything. So this version of Goku would go Super Saiyan Blue, and he would kill Goku Black, not giving him the time of day because of how dangerous it is. Goku Black was only at Super Saiyan 2 level when he fought Goku, and they were practically even. Even Goku as a Super Saiyan 3, Trunks said that you can absolutely annihilate him in this form. So Goku as a Blue, who is millions and millions and millions times stronger, he would pretty much destroy Goku Black. He would have did what Gohan did to Frieza in that one filler episode in the Wrath of the Dragon, where he would basically like rush in, punch his stomach, and he would explode. And that was the problem solved. Now Beerus would then tell him, you need to then go back to your timeline and never do this again. And Trunks would listen. So Trunks would then go back to his timeline. And again, remind you, he can because Goku Black did not destroy the ship before he was forced back to that timeline. So Trunks still has it. So Trunks would then go back to his timeline and begin rebuilding his world. Now, this would change some things since Zeno does not have a best friend. So Goku does hang around Zeno a lot more, as he hangs around him to basically, do his thing. Now, Zeno was having a lot of fun with Goku, and he does thank Goku for keeping his promise. He would offer Goku at whatever he wanted. He says, do you want to get stronger? Because Goku would still bring up the idea. Now, mind you, Goku's not a fool. He knows about the turn of power thing. He does want to fight more powerful opponents, but he needs to get a lot stronger for that. And Zeno would say, oh, well, the Grand Priest can train you. He's the best fighter around. And the Grand Priest would do anything that Zeno says so anyway. And he does find Goku very interesting for a mortal. He would not mind training him. And Goku, of course, would never turn down a training opportunity. He would actually agree. So, this time around, the Tournament of Power would not start so quickly. It would be about a year's time where Goku would train with the Grand Priest. Now, no one really knows where he went, but Beerus and Whis did fill them in that Goku was off training with the Grand Priest and Zeno. Vegeta was furious about it, but he's still pushing himself on Beerus' world to continue getting stronger. Beerus would then give Vegeta an option. He says, listen, the way that he's going to be training does not fit your style, Vegeta. If you want to become really powerful, you should go down the route that I know would work for you, which is a destroyer. Now, of course, Vegeta would agree to this because this will be one way that he can one-up Kakarot, because doing the things of a destroyer fits Vegeta's character much better. So now, of course, a year has now passed. Now, just remind you, though, the events of, Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie, things like that, would not technically happen because Frieza is still dead, but we'll touch up on that in a minute. And we'll touch up on the moral arc and other things in just a moment. We'll do the Tournament of Power real quick. Now, the events Tournament of Power would still happen because Goku still talked to Zeno about it. And the one thing that would change is Goku would talk Zeno down about destroying all the 12 universes. Goku's a very good, basically he's a guy that can change your mind. And Goku says, well, because if they're all destroyed, how can we have another awesome tournament? And Zeno would then agree, and so the rules would all be the same. Just the one difference is the universes wouldn't be destroyed. And Goku notes that they do win the Super Dragon Balls, so if it did unfortunately happen, he can, of course, wish everybody back if need be. But he was excited. His training with the Grand Priest still had some work to do, but he did unlock a new power, and it's still incomplete, of course, but the Grand Priest says that you will definitely be able to do very well in the tournament. Should be able to win, and it'll be nice to see something that I worked on do so well, so don't let us down. Well, the Tournament of Power would still go down, all the universes were notified, Goku would still get his team ready. Now, the one difference is there will be no Frieza. Raditz and them would then replace Frieza. So there's no Frieza here. Goku would not go get him. And since that's the case, the tournament power would then take place. Now, a good chunk of the Z Fighters are a lot more powerful than they originally were. Even the likes of Piccolo, who Piccolo by this point, he knows how left behind he is. Same with Raditz. And so what do? Well, they would then wish for their potentials to be unlocked with the help of Shenron, because they know that the tournament of power is coming. So Raditz has his own unique form, which I guess could be similar to Piccolo's in a way, to where he gets a potential unleashed state. Or I guess you could say it kind of looks similar. I guess Raditz maybe gets like yellow eyes or something. It'll look pretty cool. And then his little bit extra that Shenron gave him maybe goes on to Raditz too, and Raditz gets a more buff looking form, and it'd look really cool. Raditz gets his own cool form, and he's really powerful. He's comparative to Orange Piccolo when they fought the Gammas, which is already Super Saiyan Blue Plus level easily, because he was able to one-shot the same level characters. As the Gamma is Super Saiyan Blue level, Piccolo can one-shot those in his orange form. So he's at least Blue Evolution Vegeta level, which is not too far-fetched. Well, carrying on, the Tournament of Power would go a lot more in Universe 7's favor. The only real threat, it would be Kefla, but that's not even that much of a deal because she'd be knocked out. The main threat is Jiren. Jiren is the biggest threat, period. Belmont and the others do know on how strong Goku is. He was even trained by the Grand Priest. He would then tell Jiren to go defeat Goku first. He is the biggest threat. So while all the chaos was going down, the arena was being destroyed. Ketchin, I guess, is the most powerful material, but yet the weakest at the same time. Him and Goku would begin their matchup. Goku would, of course, go up his forms. He would, of course, do base form. Doesn't do much against Jiren at all. He would then go Super Saiyan. It does move Jiren a little bit. Super Saiyan 2 does knock him back like at least an inch or so. Super Saiyan 3 does push him back further. He then goes Super Saiyan 4, and now he's able to knock Jiren back, and they're able to fight back and forth, similar to how he did in Blue. Now, Goku is still getting overwhelmed by Jiren, and so Goku would then go Super Saiyan God and handle a lot better. And then going Super Saiyan Blue, he would then force Jiren to use more of his power. Jiren is not at full strength yet, but Belmont has never seen Jiren use this much power in a very long time. Goku's able to... Now, Goku, by this point in Blue, he's already strong, way stronger than he was when he fought Jiren, even in Kaioken times 20. Very easily. So he is holding his own against Jiren pretty well, but Jiren would then utilize his full power and overwhelm Goku. Goku, even though he tried using Kaioken times 20, Jiren at his full strength, not Limit Breaker, Jiren at his full strength would still overwhelm Goku. He can still hold his own a little bit, but Jiren's just too strong. He would overwhelm Goku, and Goku would almost be knocked out of the ring, pretty badly wounded. Goku would then rip the rest of his shirt off, as he would then smirk at Jiren, stating that I do have a trump card that I've been working on, thanks to the Grand Priest, as he saw this power within me. Goku would then close his eyes and remain still. Jiren would be waiting, but nothing would happen. And Jiren would then get tired of waiting. He would then rush in to hit Goku, but Goku would then dodge the attack. Goku would then turn around as the aura would surround him. He's now an autonomous Ultra Instinct. As with this power, he would then rush forward, and he did learn to utilize the power of the thing as well. Goku had a hard time because he only utilized the dodging ability, not the strength factor. Goku would overpower Jiren, and Jiren was on the losing end. Jiren would then snap, and he would then go into his limit-breaking power, which the power alone destroys the whole arena. It's knocking dozens of people out of the ring, and the likes of Vegeta would also fight Toppo. We'll get to that in a minute, as it was an insane fight. Goku was utilizing the full power of Ultra Instinct, and he is fighting pretty even with Jiren. The fight is very intense. Goku would then ascend further as he is evolving, as the Grand Priest would then smile and see that Goku unlocks Mastered Ultra Instinct, getting the silver hair. He would then overwhelm Jiren and knock him out of the ring, but Goku does not have much energy left as he laid there, pretty much with little to no energy left because it was so much power to use. Now, the likes of Vegeta. Now, Vegeta was fighting Toppo, and when Toppo uses his Sky of Destruction power, thinking that he's going to win, Vegeta would then laugh and state, I have that power too, but even better. He would then utilize the power of destruction. He would then use Ultra Ego, thus transforming, and he would defeat Toppo, knocking him out of the ring. The only other threat would be Hit, but I would really love to see somebody like Piccolo or Raditz fight Hit together, and they would have overpowered him. He would have had no chance. Even with his technique and trying to use everything he can, even using his time barrier, they would team up and defeat him. The likes of Kefla would fight Gohan, and Gohan, not slouching on his training, knowing to train hard with Piccolo and Raditz, he has grown much stronger, and he would be able to defeat Kefla, knocking her out of the ring. Pretty much any other threat would have been defeated. Unfortunately, there's nothing else that could stop them. Dispo would have been defeated. It wouldn't have mattered. They would have all been stopped. So there's nothing else that could have been done to her power. Now, Gohan is the team leader, meaning that he does get the wish. Gohan would, of course, what could they wish for, though? As the universes will not get erased. It's a very tough wish for Gohan. As he thinks about it, he thinks and he thinks and he thinks. He doesn't know what to think. Wait, he has one idea. He would then ask the Super Dragon Balls if they can increase the ranking of their universe. By what he means is making the universe better. The planets are more lush. The useless planets are all destroyed. There's way more life in that universe. The life is overfilled. Now, Zeno would allow this wish because Goku would talk to Gohan about it, and Zeno would allow it. If Goku wins, and his team did win. If they didn't win, Zeno would then destroy everything. So Zeno only did it because he likes Goku so much. They're best pals. So the wish was now done. The universe was thriving more than ever. Now, the events of the Super Broly movie would not technically happen. I do think, though, that Chi-Li and Lemma would still meet Broly. And during Broly's whole character development, he would turn on Paragus in the end because Chi-Li and Lemma would then change his mind about his father, and he would either have to destroy his father, or knowing Broly, he would probably leave him on planet Vappa, completely isolated, and that's where a cool scene would happen where Broly would then leave, leaving his father behind as he's his own man, and then Paragus would then turn around and he would then see Ba, the large worm cat creature, eat him as Ba gets his revenge, and Broly doesn't stop it as they then fly off. Well, Broly would kind of scourge around the universe, helping those around that needed him. Chi-Li and Lemma would then have a good time, spend time together. They would do their jobs, any odd jobs or bounties or anything like that. As Broly, of course, is getting a better hold on his power, they could arrive on Earth seeing how lush it is, and maybe Goku meets him that way, or Jacko meets Broly. There's a whole bunch of events. Now, the Moro arc, if it would happen, Moro's in trouble. Vegeta can just Hakai him and kill him, even in Ultra Ego. You'd have the likes of Piccolo, who Piccolo has his orange form. Gohan could even have his beast form. Raditz has his own form. Goku has Ultra Instinct. They're way too powerful. And the likes of the Gas and Granola arc would never happen because of Frieza. So Granola would never make his wish. Even if you want to say that he did because he found out the Saiyans are alive, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have gotten too old and his character would have died. And if Gas tried making the same wish, he would have died as well. So it wouldn't have mattered. The arc would not have even happened. As for the superhero movie, that would still that could relatively happen. Maybe the Red Ribbon Army does piece themselves back together, but they could jump off of 21's work. And if that's the case, then Piccolo already has his orange form. Gohan could already have unlocked his beast form, or he unlocks it during that battle, and Cell Max or any other character would have been killed. So that's already a loss. And that is it for this series, you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. I know it was jumping around the arcs at the very end, but there's not much to really tell about. The arcs would have ended just much faster. The characters are so much stronger, and how Goku strategizes and does battles is so much different. He's more serious, and he knows not to mess around, because some enemies are, they just can't be saved. So they would have been defeated. But anyway, thank you all so much for the support of this series. I really appreciate it. Make sure to look out for the polls and the post. To post your what if ideas, post them, and whichever one gets the most likes, they will then go on a poll. Make sure to go vote. Go vote and see whichever one wins. Hey, your idea could be the next what if video. Thank you all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.
Go team.